just want to give a brief introduction or overview of the statistical moving averages and their real world use case, real world application essentially, and how powerful these measurements can be, and also how they differentiate from your static average value. So if we consider, we use the following metaphor, if we consider Cristiano Ronaldo and we check out his previous 5 games and the goals he scored. So for example, if he scored 10 goals within the previous 5 games, that will be 2 goals per game on average, based on this 5-day analysis, 5 match days analysis. So that's pretty useful information to have. So if we further want to delve into the data, the statistical moving averages will be very useful to look at in the context of this example. So an important aspect of this example is that this is only 5 observations, so only 5 games. So we can see how powerful this could be if we applied the same understanding of the same foundations to larger data sets, and essentially the information we can harness from the data using these techniques. So I'm going to focus on the EMA. This is a type of moving average. You have different types such as the SMA, the CMA, the EMA. The reason I'm deciding to choose the EMA is it puts more weight on your recent observations. So essentially, in the context of this example, it will put more weight on the recent goals scored within the matches. So if we delve further into the data, we can see that in this example, Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 10 goals in the last 2 games, but the previous 3 games he scored 0 goals. Now, the static average value, that wouldn't give us an indication of essentially the form of the player. However, the EMA, as I mentioned, which will apply or put more weight on recent observations, so in the context of this will be more goals, or in the context of this example would be your recent goals. So that will allow us to capture the form of the player. So that's how important this measurement is, or the moving averages as a whole can be. And when we apply these to real world problems, for example, the EMA is a highly valuable measurement in the realms of stocks and trading. This measurement, or moving averages, other moving averages, can be combined with other technical indicators, essentially to inform decisions around entries into trading points. And for example, if we combine that with the standard deviation of a stock will give us an indication of the stock volatility. If we apply that to our example, the metaphor we have used, the 5 games, the 10 goals over the games, if we check out the standard deviation, that will also give us an indication of how the player is in terms of form. But so if we're combining all these techniques, and these is only the 2 measurements I've mentioned, 3 measurements, your average value, your moving average, EMA, and standard deviation, we really get an indication of how much information we can harness from the data to make informed decisions. If we want to perhaps place a bet on a player, if we want to enter a stock at a certain price. So yeah, and I suppose I'll just move on to the last slide. This just gives a visual representation of what moving averages will look against when measured against your stocks. So it looks pretty unuseful, but the further you delve into these moving averages, as stocks and shares, making future price predictions is one of the most complex areas to do so. So Yeah, it's very difficult, but these are very powerful techniques and definitely very useful cross